Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome into the Creator Town Hall for yet another week. On this week's show, I'm sharing what I know about YouTube. I've been doing this YouTube caper for over 10 years. A lot has changed over that time. A lot is different. Some of it's the same. But what is still relevant in 2026? And how can you be as successful as possible sharing your music and sharing your videos and sharing your thoughts and ideas online using YouTube in 2026? If you're watching on the replay, there'll be timestamps because we're doing this in 2 acts. The first act is all about the mindset, because if you go into doing anything new without thinking about how you're going to do it, without knowing what success looks like, how can you even be successful? How do you do something? How do you know if you haven't defined the goalposts? How do you know if your ball is sailing through those goalposts or way off to the side? So we'll talk about the mindset, the creative mindset, some of the barriers, some of the things that you might be facing that are preventing you from getting out there and getting stuff done. And then we're going to dive into the practical tips. What do you do? How do you upload a video to YouTube? What do you have to put in there? When you get that big giant screen with things like title and description and tags and thumbnail, what are the boxes you tick? How do you get it all done? So we're going to go a little practical. I'm going to show you what I do, and I invite you to share what you do too. So if you've got your own thoughts, your own ideas about how you create using YouTube, then feel free to share them with us, because as someone once said, sharing is caring. And Sharon is indeed Karen. Thank you, Thomas Christ, for slinging those links in here. You can indeed become a member. You can support me on Patreon, and donations are always appreciated, never, ever expected. If you enjoy the show, if you get some tips and value out of it, thumbs up button for the win. Would appreciate you if you could go ahead and do that. So without further ado, let's dive in. Please interrupt me as we go. That's what the chat is here for. If you're here live, if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, drop them in the chat. So, mindset. Why is it hard? Well, number one is the fear of being seen. Like, sharing music feels like exposure, right? It's not just the uploading, it's not just the practice. That's why we're starting with the mind. We're starting with the brain, and then we'll get into the fingers and the thumbs afterwards. It's the fear of judgment, isn't it? Especially from people that you know. This can be the hardest thing. It took me a long time to tell folks, and I still, when someone says, oh, what do you do for a living? I'll like mumble something, oh, a music educator, create videos for online distribution and sharing. And people are like, oh, are you a YouTuber? And I'm like, I guess so. I guess I'm a YouTuber, if you want to call it that. So yeah, and especially people I know, saying that you make music, and because the first thing people, oh, where's your music? Can I listen to it? Can I watch it? Can I do it? So saying that you're doing a thing, especially to people you know, it's weird. It's people you know. Strangers on the internet, you might think, oh, they're scary, but sometimes it's the people you know. And I know musicians who share their entire music online. Their best friends, their family, their mothers, their children don't even know that they do it. They do it in secret because they don't want people to know. So I get it. And acknowledging, it's not saying you can just get over it just like that, but acknowledging that up front is so important. The fear of being seen trying and failing is what cripples some people. They're like, I'm not going to start, I'm not going to try, because what if I don't succeed? But my goodness, what if you do? And again, it's why defining your success is so important. It is so critical that you know what, because some people are like, yeah, I want to be a rock star, live large, big house, 5 cars. But some of us just want to get songs done just for our own satisfaction. You just want to get a song done and get a video shared on YouTube. If that's your goal, it's quite achievable, isn't it? But if you've got these lofty ambitions and you're underachieving, that's one thing. But most of us don't have that. Most of us kind of left the rock star dreams in the teenage and the early 20s. But maybe you didn't. So defining what success means for you is super important. And it's the biggest barrier for most creators is just that I worry, I fear being seen. I fear being seen and judged by folks. Speaking of folks, g'day here. 4-day work week, living the dream. Nice one, Thomas Christ. Hello, Sean Chandler. Hello, Broussard. G'day to Kenneth. Hello, Costa. Yes, the role I'm in Monday to Thursday is a good thing. Nice one. Nice one indeed, Costa. I hope you are all okay. Hello, Roque. okay. Hope you are all doing well. And again, if you've got comments as we go, chuck them in here, chuck them in the chat. Number 2, perfectionism keeps you stuck. Hands up who is perfectionistic or has perfectionistic tendencies. Yeah, it's hard. It means that you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to share this because what if it's not perfect? Well, guess what? It's not ready yet. That becomes a loop, doesn't it? You get stuck in that. You keep raising your standards and you never meet your own standards. Perfection delays publishing indefinitely. And we've all been there, haven't we? Where you're like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Later never comes, does it? Done beats perfect every single time. Hello, Bradley McKnight. Hope you are doing well. We'll be going about an hour today, Brassard. So thank you for joining us here live. Number 3, are you great at starting, but you find it hard to finish? Yeah, me too. I hear me and I hear you. So if you're great at starting, but it's hard to finish things, endless ideas and creative energy. New ideas distract from finishing the old ones. Have you ever done that? You're 90% through a song, and instead of spending that final little bit of time dusting it off, doing the final mix, doing the final master, what do you do instead? You go back to the start, don't you? You go back to the start and you do it all again. Yeah. Publishing doesn't give the same dopamine hit as starting something new and shiny. Systems are needed to complete and release your music. So yes, we'll talk about those systems as well. What about if it's the opposite? What about if you have so much deep focus? This is number 4, deep focus, but you actually have difficulty sharing. You've got strong focus, you've got strong attention to detail, but you prefer a controlled environment. You know what happens when you release your music, when you put your music out there to the world? It's out of your control. Again, hands up the control freaks. It's weird. Creative types, we're often perfectionistic, but we're often like to be in control. And those two things go in complete separation from each other because you really can't be in control, but also be perfectionistic. Because once it's out there and other people have their thoughts and opinions and feedback, you don't control that. You never will, and it doesn't matter. But it takes a long time to learn that. So sharing publicly can feel overwhelming, can't it? But you can build a sharing style that suits you. And that could mean sharing to no one to start with, putting your videos out but leaving them private, just being unlisted and sharing with a couple of close friends. People you know won't be judgy. Share it with me. I've said this before. Do your first YouTube video, share it with me. Number 5, anxiety. Yeah, that's anxiety and worst case thinking. You're thinking, what will people think? That can dominate, can't it? Catastrophizing reactions that rarely happen. You think, I put this song out there, and instead of thinking, and I'll feel good, and people will appreciate it, and maybe some people will like my music and subscribe to my channel and watch my stuff on YouTube, but instead you think, oh, but what if someone steals my song? What if someone tells me I'm rubbish? What if someone reports me to the police for terrible guitar solos, right? And even silence. What if nothing? Here's the thing. I watched a video the other day that was talking about the fact that no one cares about you, and that's awesome because it gives you the freedom to do what you want, doesn't it? And if you forget about it and stop taking advice from strangers on the internet or even friends and family and just do what's right for you, it's so much easier. It just gets done. But again, the silence, we've all been there. You upload a video, you spent a long time on it, you put it out there and crickets, right? It can be debilitating. It can hit you right in the feels because you're like, I've poured my heart and soul into this and you got nothing to say about it. Come on, people, help me out here. But again, you don't remove that fear, but you act with it. You let it, you bless it and you let it go. Yeah, because you know what? Life does not have to be perfect to be wonderful. And your videos aren't going to be perfect. Never. They never will be. Just forget it. Forget perfection right now. And number 6, creatives feel everything a bit more, don't we? It is both our superpower as well as one of the biggest challenges. But you need to flip the script. You need to say, the fact that I care about my own work, the fact that I care about other people and their work, that's important. If you're just going through the motions, why are you doing it? It's like every time I press a button to go live, every time I hit the record button, I get that little flutter. Do you get it? Do you feel it too? I get that little like apprehension, anticipation. And what I've taught myself over the years, is that that same feeling is excitement. It is. It's the same chemicals that are going through your brain when you're excited as to when you're scared. So I just flip the script on it and say, how exciting is it that I get to do a live stream here on YouTube? But we do. Sensitivity, however, is part of creativity, isn't it? Yeah, you notice nuance, including criticism. And it's why when someone leaves a comment, you and your brain, and I know you, because I do it too, will find a way to flip it around. Have you ever done that? Have you ever read something or got feedback from someone and they've said, oh yeah, really, really love this, great sound on that guitar. And your brain goes, oh, what was wrong with my vocals? They didn't even mention your vocals. They complimented you on your guitar tone. But your brain, your super hyper self-critical brain says, oh, well then if they only complimented that, there must be something wrong with the other stuff. It's not the case. But because you've invested so much of your own emotion, it can be tough, can't it? Yeah. So strength in art and challenge is in the sharing. Let's go to some other folks who've joined us. Hello to Rena. My musical civil engineer father genetically ruined me for perfectionism. Exactly. Put your music out there. If people like it, cool. If not, it's there for me. Exactly. And it's why when people say, never listen to your own music, it's so big-headed. Nah, I listen to my music all the time. I'll prove it to you. Just before the show, I was rocking out to my song called You're Wrong, because I freaking love it. Because I created it. It sends a message. It's all about the things that I feel and believe, and it speaks to me. And if you're making music that doesn't speak to you, that you don't want to listen to, not really sure what you're doing or why you're doing it. Hello, Rena. Yes, I said g'day to you, didn't I? And hello to who else has joined us? Les. G'day, Les. I hope you are doing well. If you're catching up on the replay, thumbs up because the sun's up. You can leave your questions, your comments. I get my ideas from you. The reason we do these different shows is because of you. And someone actually mentioned to me, they watched this video here on Indie Over 50. Go check out John at Indie Over 50. He is a legend and he's creating some fabulous content over there, interviewing some fascinating folks, including yours truly. But my 2026 how-to guide, where I sat down and chatted with John, he released that video a week ago. I know many of you have watched it. And someone said to me, oh, I'd love for you to expand on that a little bit more about YouTube. So I said, okay, let's do it. And yesterday's video, our mate Jerry Gomes was asking about audio settings in Logic Pro. And I said, I'll make a video. So the vast majority of my stuff comes from you. So thank you. All right, number 7, your work feels like your identity, doesn't it? Because music it's personal. Some of it's not. You know, sometimes we just put out a pop song or a rock song or whatever, and it's just, this is just designed to make your feet tap and to make you sing along. But a lot of the time, for most of us, a lot of the music we produce is very personal. Therefore, criticism of our music, it feels like personal rejection, doesn't it? It feels like someone's rejecting you as a person. And it couldn't be further from the truth. There are some people that I love whose music I don't have a lot of time for. Does that mean that they're a lesser person? No. I am not a huge fan of death metal, right? I know some amazing people who are great artists who create some death metal that I can listen to and go, I appreciate the heck out of how good this is. But I'm not going to sit down and listen to it in my spare time. Does that mean that they're a worse person? No. So this is the thing. You got to share your music because you're someone's favorite artist. I say that every time. You'd be surprised. But regardless, you are someone's favorite artist. So do that. It is. It's hard to separate you from your work. But learning that separation, having your own self-worth and self-fulfillment not attached to what other people say and do, but attached to your own feeling of adequacy and your own feeling of success, super important. Hard to do, super important. Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. G'day, Jerry Goes. Hope you are doing well, mate. And YouTube these days, online these days in general, sometimes it feels bigger than reality, doesn't it? It feels like this massive public stage, like early videos reach very few people. When you're starting out a channel, and even when you're established in YouTube, unfortunately, the more common response to a whole lot of negative criticism is just nothing. It's just crickets. It's like 10 views, and you know that 7 of them were you when you were testing it. So it's actually a really safe space to experiment. A lot of folks forget that. They think that, oh, as soon as it's public, everyone I know, my dentist, my doctor, my podiatrist, my mum, my dad, my sisters, my cousins, my children, everyone's watching me. Hate to break it to you, but that's not the case. But they will eventually. Eventually, you'll find your audience. You'll find your group. You'll find where you fit in socially. It's just like the real world. Again, it's like when I'm out in public, and I say this to my kids, when I'm sort of acting a bit funny and being a bit strange because I'm a bit of a weirdo, I'll do something weird in public, and they'll, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I mean, they're teenagers. It's their job to be embarrassed, and it's my job to embarrass them. But when they're being embarrassed by me, I'm like, dudes, they're like, oh, look, that person's looking at you. What are they going to think? Like, they're going to think that dude's a bit quirky, and then they're going to get on with the rest of their life. They're not going to think, they're not going to give me a second thought. Or they might get home and say to their spouse, saw a dude walking along and he just started skipping for a few seconds today. He was this big dude, big hairy beardy dude wearing a backpack, and I thought it was weird. So, yeah, but they're not going to care. And that's the thing. The bigger problem we have in society these days is actually that people aren't caring about others, or they're doing it in a negative way. But you're more invisible than you think. I know, it's hard. G'day, Mark. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Very cool. Yeah. Only you can be the best you, and you certainly won't please everybody all the time. Doesn't mean you got to... look, the opposite of this is people are like, I call a spade a frickin' shovel, and if people don't like it, they can shove it up their bum. Yeah, that's not a great approach either. So I don't recommend going that hardcore. But on the flip side, yeah, you don't need to spend your life like taking your advice from people on the internet, especially strangers, especially in social platforms where people are representing themselves with perhaps a false image of themselves. Let's be honest, especially on places like Instagram and TikTok. Ain't no one posting that first take, are they? Ain't no one posting that first photo that they took where they've got 14 chins. No, they're putting the camera up and they're taking it again. That's just the reality that we live in. All right, let's talk about, hey, Hugh Caldwell. G'day to you. Hope you're doing well. Number 9, the first upload barrier. The hardest step is going public, isn't it? Crossing that private to public is psychological. It really is. It's a mind thing. And you have to be, I say to my kids all the time, let's be brave with this one. That's all. Just be brave. And again, you can. It's like the Nike slogan, just do it. It's obviously a lot harder than that. But after the first upload, it gets easier. And then it gets easier, and then it gets easier, to the point where hitting the public button, like, you know, I said before, hitting go live still gives me the butterflies and still makes me a bit nervous. I'm actually past that with uploading a video, because the only nervousness is I've kind of removed that because of the nature of my channel. I don't have to worry about if my videos go viral. All I have to do is make sure that the content I'm putting out there serves my mission, which is to help people create, record, and release their best music. Sometimes just for entertaining value. I'm doing this Pete's Disc series of shorts at the moment. And I'll talk about shorts later too, because you should be doing shorts as well. And I'll tell you why. That's a nice little tease there. But it really does get better. And the momentum, you've got to build up momentum. Your brain is just like a muscle. You can't just pick up a 50-pound weight right now. You got to start with a 10-pound, then a 20-pound, then a 30-pound. So it's the same. Why do I go pounds? I live in Australia. Kilograms, baby. But yeah, you got to stretch that muscle. You got to make that habit form. And the only way you can do it is to do it. And the first time it's going to be hard. First time you do anything, everyone starts at 0. The first time you do anything, it's hard. But then guess what? It gets easier and easier and easier every single time you do it. Number 10, growth only happens after sharing. I say this all the time. I'm a broken record with this, but yeah, art is only art when it's shared with others. And if you are just creating videos, creating music, putting it all in, like still sitting there on your hard drive, guess what? You're not learning anything. You're not getting any feedback. You're probably not getting better. It's like playing golf. If you go out there and practice your golf swing for 2 hours, but your swing is terrible and no one's giving you feedback, your golf game's not going to get any better. Well, in my case, it might, because it can't get any worse. I think I was 37 over par last time I played, and that was on a par 3 course. Maybe it wasn't quite that bad. It was pretty bad, though. But you know what I mean? Like, if you aren't practicing and you aren't getting it out there, you're not learning what to do. And getting feedback is actually a really good thing. I know it can feel the first time you put a video out there and someone says, hey, your audio levels are way too low. And you're like, oh, okay. And then you learn, oh, I'll turn it up. And then your audio level goes up. But yeah, you won't know that until you start sharing. You got to get your stuff out there. Hello, humans and other things that might be here. Yes, hello to all the humans. Hello to the bots out there too. Bleep bloop, my friends. And hello to the AI scrapers that are scraping this content. Please continue scraping my content, because if you start scraping your own content, it's going to get really bad. I'm going to pause for a sec. I had a fight. I fight with ChatGPT a lot. I fight with AI bots. I had a fight with it because I was watching the flying hellfish episode of The Simpsons, and I knew that there was one scene in that had the word fighting hellfish instead of flying hellfish. So I asked ChatGPT, I said, oh, whereabouts in this episode is the scene where it says fighting hellfish instead of flying hellfish? And it went away and said, oh, no. See, you're thinking of that because the symbol is a fish with a big beefy arm. But it's actually, there's no mention of fighting hellfish. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure there is. Can you please check again? And it goes off and checks again. And it's like, nah. That's not there at all. So I fired up Disney Plus, found the screenshot and sent it to ChatGPT and said, look, there. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, now that you've shown me that, you're right. And I said to it, can you please stop being confident when you're not correct? Like when you don't know the answer. You're like, you know, some people that they'll just say something and they'll treat it. They confuse opinion and fact. Yeah, like it was doing that. And I said, can you please never do that again? And it said, oh, yeah, I'll remember that. I said, can you not do it for anyone? It's like, oh, I can't change how I work, but you can provide feedback and blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. I don't know what they would be scraped by. Hopefully nothing bad. All righty. Number 11. Are we number 10? Yeah, 10. 10 is growth. So, yeah, progress happens in public. Feedback requires publishing. Number 11, consistency builds confidence, right? Confidence doesn't come first. Repetition is what reduces fear. It's true. The first time, take public speaking, for instance. I used to be absolutely terrified of public speaking. If I had to speak in a meeting in front of like 10 people, I would go to pieces. I would get all the things. I would get the racing heart. I would get the clammy hands. I would get that thing where, you know, like your mouth feels like it's full of something and it gets all sticky, and for some reason your saliva glands forget to produce saliva, so you can't talk, and and at the same time you're constantly swallowing, and you forget to breathe and you start hyperventilating, so your breath is, all of that happens, right? And the problem is we fear it because that's happened. But it's actually, it's like a catch-22, isn't it? It's this circular thing. Because that happens once, we then fear it, and then what happens the next time you do it? It happens again, and you're like, see, brain, I told you it would happen because it happened last time, so it's repetition. But if you flip the script again and you start actually doing it, and you do it again and again and again, and in between times, you beef up those muscles. You learn new strategies. You learn coping techniques. You do a little bit of whatever you want, yoga, mindfulness. I know it's a four-letter word these days to say to be mindful, but a little quiet time. But also, if you're like me and you're an over-analytical person, just consume every bit of content related to public speaking you possibly can. Learn that pauses are okay. Learn that you need to speak about half the speed that your brain is processing thoughts at. And eventually you get to the point where maybe it doesn't come easy. Maybe like me, every time you speak in public or every time you publish a video, you have that moment of apprehension. But you can do it. And the more you do it, the more accustomed to it, the better you get at it. Number 12, courage compounds over time. Right? You don't start fearless. The only people that start something brand new and have zero fears are psychopaths. And unless you are a psychopath, and if you are, I'm not saying that to judge, please go and get a diagnosis and please go and get help. Because if you're starting something brand new and you're not a teensy bit nervous, then either it's not the right thing for you to be doing, or you might need some help with developing some empathy. But that's the thing. Other people are in exactly the same boat. and again, I say this to my kids and I say this to everyone all the time, when we're talking about this anxiety and stress and fear, everyone's in the same boat. And guess what? They're a bit busy. Like, you know that thing where you're in class and everyone had to get up and do a talk? The other people were so shit scared of their talk, they probably didn't even listen to a word you said. They wouldn't be able to recall or feedback or give you any advice about what you did because they're worried about them. People, unfortunately, for good or bad, are focused in on their own self. And it's the same in public. It's the same with everything. You'd be surprised how little people are actually watching what you're doing, even when you're doing it 100% in public. Unless, of course, you walk around with your pants around your ankles, in which case you'll probably draw the wrong kind of attention, I would say. But small steps, right? Small baby steps build long-term change. With public speaking, you start sentences in a low pitch and then you have the middle of it and a climax at a high pitch, really loud, and then you end the sentence quiet, soft, and dramatically for every sentence. Ditto for paragraphs. Well done. Hey, it's speaking of wonderful people, we weren't, but hey, it's Frank Terzo. G'day to you. Hope you are doing well. If anyone here has any questions or comments that you would like to throw in the chat, please go ahead and do so. Don't forget the thumbs up button is right there if you need it. Now I'm going to be paranoid about starting low, building my sentence, and then finishing quietly. I think I do it naturally anyway. And again, I'm not saying all this to say everyone has to be cookie cutter and do things exactly the same way. You will find what works for you. For instance, because I have a bit of anxiety, you'll notice that I use my hands too much. And technically, I should be using my hands less. When I'm in a professional situation where I can't flap my arms about, I put my hands together. And I consciously make sure that my hands stay together. So if I'm trying to deliver an important, sincere message, and if I'm going like this at the same time, it's not really going to be appropriate. So if I was doing a eulogy for someone, the hands would be clasped so that I can be sincere, still honest, still friendly, still kind. But for YouTube, what do you have to do? You kind of have to 2x yourself. Some people say you got to 10x yourself. My personality, if you've met me in real life or on a Zoom call or whatever, I know many people in this chat have, such as Thomas, then you know that I'm not different, but I kind of am. I'm probably twice as amped for YouTube. So when I'm doing videos, when I'm releasing things, I'm probably about twice as amped up as I am in real life, but it's not different. Because if you change, like it's really challenging to completely change your personality. I don't think it's possible. And look, I tried this early on, and it's halfway between the mindset and the practical, because we'll dive into the practical stuff in a moment. When I first started doing YouTube, I liked the people I liked. I liked Graham Cochran, I liked Joe Gilder, and I wanted to be like them. But guess what? They're already them, and they're a better them than I could ever be. But you know what they can't do? They can't be Pete Johns. They can't be a quirky, weird, bald dude from Australia. Well, Joe Gilder could give it a crack, but he's from the US. But no one can be as good as me. So it's about finding your own unique voice and then projecting it. And you do have to project it, because we've all seen people that create videos that are maybe not an amped version of themselves. And it would be like, hi, my name is Pete Johns. Welcome to Studio Live today. Today we're going to be talking about how to use Logic Pro, how to set your audio settings in Logic Pro. First of all, you go to Logic Pro, you open the settings app, and then you change your sample rate. And I recommend 44.1 kilohertz. That would be fine. And there are some people that's their brand and that's what they put in their videos. But I think because this is edutainment, it's education, but it's also got to grab people's attention, doesn't it? Speaking of which, we're going to dive into the practical tips. Once we say g'day to Sylvie Drapeau, once we say g'day to Sal Caruso, I hope you are well, and Bradley McKnight. I'd like to expand my artist YouTube channel to include virtual instrument plugin reviews. I can't create thumbnails, what with being blind, and I don't think Mac screenshots will be of any use. Well, there you go. This is where I think things like AI or automated image generation stuff can actually help out, because there are platforms now that you can say, create this. And obviously you're not going to be able to see, and say with Omni Collective, you're not going to be able to see what it looks like, but there'll be people that you can get to check it beforehand. So Yeah, this is why having these groups and these communities are really good. And the good thing about releasing with YouTube is everything is changeable. You can change your thumbnail, you can change your title, you can add tags afterwards. So even if you put something out there, and I recommend that you do, if you're thinking right now, I want to do X, the next step is start working towards doing X. Because we do, especially creative types, we do a lot of gonna. Are you ever a gunner? Oh, I'm gonna start this new channel. I'm gonna release a video. I'm gonna write a new song. But yeah, how often does that just turn into just thoughts and it never quite turns into action? So, how do I protect? Hello, Jamie. How do I protect my music? There are two ways. I don't recommend what a lot of people do, which is go out of your way to register your music for copyright, to register it with an agency to get the copyright office and actually get it formally and officially. My recommendation to protect your music is to not. I know that sounds like a cop-out. You're asking a serious question. But there is so much, music is so ubiquitous. There is so much music in the world being produced at any given time. The chances that someone will, instead of using AI or instead of creating their own music, they're going to come and steal yours and then misrepresent it and put it out there as themselves is so slim that it's not really even worth spending any time on. And the other thing I say to that is, if it did happen, then you've got some recourses, which I'll talk about in a sec, but then it means you can write a hit song. So you can do it again. Like very rarely is it like lightning in a bottle, one hit wonder. I wrote this one amazing song. It's the only song I've ever written that's good. And someone stole it because I didn't protect it. But what I will say, I am a big proponent of hiding in plain sight. The times where I've seen people have trouble with music being stolen is when they're producing it completely in secret. They're working or collaborating with someone else and that other person takes it and puts it out there. If you've actually been recording it and you did a video, say, as soon as you've written this song, I say stick it up on YouTube. Put your demo up on YouTube. It's actually very relevant to this. Put your demo, put a video of you playing the song. If you're me, it'd be very difficult to steal my music because I create my song I'm working on at the moment is called Hey Brett. And I've had 3 videos of me doing the initial songwriting, arranging the song and recording the song. And then next week I'll be mixing the song. So, yeah, I don't know. I say hide in plain sight. I say just let it be there. Just let it be out there. Here's something I was talking about today. Don't expect your music on GarageBand to be the same level of production as a studio, big time doors, $2,000 mic, professional producer. Yeah, look, yes. So short answer is yes, but also a crap song recorded on amazing gear is still a crap song. And an amazing song recorded in GarageBand is better than a crappy song recorded in the studio. Just is. So yeah, and look, a lot of that is the expertise of the producer. A lot of it's less about the gear, and it's more about the expertise of that producer and how they can use the gear. Because if you gave me a $2,000 microphone, I wouldn't know what to do with it differently. I wouldn't know how to do the EQ sculpting and curve for that particular microphone. Because expensive, especially vintage microphones, are not as easy to get a good sound out of. Like, they will sound amazing if you know what you're doing. But yeah, point taken that, yeah, look, if you can go to a studio, even to be able to learn. I've known a lot of people. So talking to John, speaking of which, Indie Over 50, go watch John, go subscribe to John. Talking to him, he used a studio for a lot of his music recording, and he said it's great because not only do you work with the producer, you get a great outcome of your song, but watching that producer and seeing how they do it can help you with your own recording. And it's true. And it can help you with things like arranging a song and the techniques that are used to mix it. The fact that you don't actually have to go in and EQ every single track all the time. Yeah, look, really get your music out there. Just release. And a lot of people, especially when you're starting out, people overdo the whole, like they've watched a bunch of videos about how to get on playlists and how to do a big launch and how to do a big release and how to build momentum. That comes later. That comes once you know what you're doing. Your first song, create the song. No, what is it? Create, record, release. And release doesn't have to be sign up to DistroKid and get it out on labels, blah, blah, blah. Just put a video on YouTube. Get it out there and then share it and send it to me and I'll listen to it and maybe it'll play it on Your Music Live. But the hardest thing is to actually get over that first hump. Oh no, it's happened again every week. I got to remember to put my mouse on charge. Luckily, I do have a cable this week. So let's charge up the old mouse with its wonderful, amazing placement there. But we got the backup. We got the backup trackpad. Don't like a trackpad that much though. Alrighty, Al Davis Music. Good to see you here as well. Self-written US copyright. Yeah, exactly. Just do it or don't. That's the thing. I wouldn't bother. Again, I don't know. I think a lot of people spend a lot of money and a lot of time protecting stuff that, in all honesty, no one's really interested in there. Hello, Brassard. Welcome back, my friend. Guess who's back? Back again. Brassard's back. Tell a friend. Let's talk practicality. Number 13, or number 1 of our second act, if you prefer. The upload process. Yay! Make it repeatable. So create a simple checklist. Export, upload, publish. Use consistent naming conventions for your files so that you know where things are. Reduce the friction with templates and defaults. And the goal is making uploading automatic, not emotional. So when you got that song ready to go, you want to be able to, this is why I say start doing it now. I don't care what you upload. Upload a video of your dog running around in the backyard. Upload a jam session. Upload you playing a cover version of your favorite song. Just upload something. Just get cracking and recording and releasing, because then you'll learn all the ins and outs and the nicks and knacks of the process. And it's not actually that hard. It can be daunting at first, but it ain't actually that hard. So what does it look like to upload on YouTube? Like when I go to YouTube, how do I upload a song? I will show you how we do that. So let's jump over to the tube of you. Here we are in YouTube. Just go to youtube.com. You will have an account here. Now there's 2 different places you can go. You can go to the YouTube studio, and that's where you go to manage your YouTube account. And I'll show you that afterwards. But for the first time around, guess what? There's a big button here that says create. You tap on that create, you hit upload video, and you get this form. Now, I'm just going to do a mock one here. I'm going to upload yesterday's video. So I'm going to select files. I'm going to grab yesterday's video. Oh my goodness, I got so many things. I can't even see where the video file is. Oh, I uploaded it on my laptop. All right, we'll find the last video, this latency video. So latency.mp4. You hit open on there and it starts the upload process. Right. Now you get hit with all of these forms. You know what you can do? If you don't have time to do it now, just get it uploaded and move on. So if you just go next, then you'll be fine. But what you can do is go through all the different stages, which is what we're going to talk about now. Let's talk about titles and tags and metadata. Number 14. Titles should be clear, searchable, and human friendly. So if it's a video here about latency in Logic Pro, what should I put in here? How to, because it's a how-to video, fix latency in Logic Pro for iPad. I like to use capitalization. Maybe you don't. I like to use title case, which means capitalizing all the words except for like in and an and and for. You might not. I use capitals. A lot of people these days don't. They just use lowercase in everything that they do. But again, you'll have your own style. The important thing is though, don't make it cryptic. Like I hate videos that are like, we need to discuss, or I'm quitting. And it's like, for the love of, anyway. But maybe if that's your brand, go for it. Now, description. This is important. When you're doing your description, the first line is the most important thing. So this needs to tell, because this is what we call above the fold. When you've watched a YouTube video, like if you're watching this video right now, see where the description is. It'll show you only the first 2, sometimes 3 lines. So the first 2 lines are simply important, are the most important. So what I would do here is go Logic Pro for iPad. I like this little straight line tilde thing. How to fix latency issues using low latency monitoring. And you'd spell it correctly. The second thing here is a link to something else that you want to send people to. And this can and usually should be the same thing that you put in your pinned comment, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Let me come back to my notes here just to make sure I'm not covering stuff. Yeah, so consistent keyword. We'll talk tags as we go through. They're secondary. They're less important. And again, if this was a song of yours, what would I do? I would go choices by Pete Johns, 2025 Songtember rock song. So you're telling people what it's all about. So if anyone is ever searching for choices by Pete Johns, they're going to find it. And what a lot of people do here is they go, amazing, epic rock song you won't want to not hear in your ear holes because it's super rad. Now, hopefully you can see the problems with that as a title. Way too long. Title shouldn't be more than about 50 characters total, let alone 90 that we have here. So it's going to get truncated. It's going to get cut off anyway. And it says nothing about what the video is. Now, if you want to go for the mysterious route, you can do that. But generally, you want it to be nice and tight and lean and consistent. We'll go with that for now. But so what do I mean by this? What I do, and you'll see this in this video and every video I do, I like to use a little emoji here. So I'll put, in this case, like maybe a keyboard emoji, and I'll go more Logic Pro tutorials, and then I'll paste in a playlist there. And that will be the same thing that goes into my final video. So we'll actually continue on with this one just to show you the process. Here is where you upload a thumbnail. Talk about thumbnails in just a jiffy. So all you need to do is tap the upload file and then choose the file that you want it to be. Let's just use this GarageBand Weekly one. There you go. That's my next week. This is going to be the weirdest video. I hope I don't accidentally publish it. And then playlisting. We'll talk about playlists in a bit as well. They're really, really important. You can see I've got a heap of them here. So make sure that you're using playlists if you've got multiple types of videos and categories is the important thing. Make sure you say, no, it's not made for kids. If you tick that it's made, if it is made for kids, tick made for kids. But if it's made for kids, what it will mean is it won't be monetizable and it will be blocked for anyone under the age of 18. So you generally don't want that unless, of course, other way around. You don't want to mark it as R-rated. You can do that in another place. But if you say made for kids, it will put it into YouTube Kids and it will, it's not good. Unless it's for kids, don't mark it for kids. The show more button here, there it is, the age restriction. So you can restrict it to over 18. But I say, no, don't, because I'm a good boy. I'm PG-13, I say. The more here, now, paid promotion. This is important if your video is sponsored. If you have received something, either payment or product, you need to disclose it by tapping that button there. My video contains paid promotion. Paid promotion like product placement, sponsorship, or endorsement. This is really important because if you get something that you're reviewing and the company has given it to you for free, that is a payment. Now, if it's on loan, that's a grey area. I've asked about this and I've gotten different answers as to whether, so for example, I get loan products from Apple. I do a review of my iPhone that Apple have let me borrow. I have to return it. I don't own it. Is that paid? They haven't actually paid me and they haven't given me anything, but I've been allowed to use their product to show it. So that's technically not. But if, so IK Multimedia, for instance, in the past, they gave me to keep an iRig. So if I'm doing a review of that iRig, you better believe I have to tap on my video contains paid placement or endorsement. Because even though they haven't paid me $200, if they've given me a $200 interface and I get to keep it, that is sponsorship. Brands is a new one. You can try and get brand deals through YouTube. I've never played with it. I don't know what success you get. Altered content. Yes. Do any of them describe your content? Makes a real person say or do something they didn't say or do. Alters footage and it generates a realistic looking scene that didn't actually occur. So is it AI generated? Do press no. So you can leave that blank, but always come to the show more and always say no to altered content. Unless, of course, you are altering the content. Unless you fit that. Now, people have asked me lately, what about an AI-generated video? What about if I've completely made a song, but I've used AI? That doesn't actually technically fit these categories. If you read those as they are, unless, of course, it creates a realistic-looking scene that didn't actually occur. And this is why I love folks using AI and just doing wacky, out there, amazing stuff. Because I want AI to do things that humans can't do. I want them to be able to just make things really weird and bizarre and wacky. So that's not this. This is deep fakes. This is creating fake stories and trying to share them, like we're unfortunately seeing around the world at the moment. And this is altering footage of a real event or a place. So it's very specific. It's not saying you can't use AI generated anything, because then I'd be in trouble. I don't use a lot of AI, but some of my backgrounds, for instance, are, and some of my thumbnail backgrounds, I use it not for the whole thing, but usually just to create a bit of a background. Collaboration, this is new. So you can invite a collaborator. So if I was working on this one and say Thomas Christ was on it as well, I can go in here and add Thomas. I won't create the link, but as soon as I say create link, I can then send that link to Thomas. And if he agrees to be on the same video, what it will do is it'll create a link. And you would have seen these on YouTube. It'll say Pete Johns and Thomas Christ. In fact, I can show you a version of it, because on this video, see how there it's got Indy over 50 and Pete Johns. So John controls it. It's on his channel. It's not on my channel. I can see it. I don't get any of the views. I don't get any of that, but it creates that link. And it's just really cool for being able to share things with other people. Okay. Automatic chapters, featured places, and automatic concepts. I just leave all those on. I'll talk about it in a minute again, but the reason I leave everything on with YouTube is YouTube likes you best when you let it do its thing. If you're constantly turning off features and not using features, there's not really been proven that this is the case, but the more ways you let YouTube interact with your content, the more likely it is going to be to share and spread that, because it wants to show off its cool new features. It wants to show off its automatic chapters. It wants to show off its automatic places. So I say, sure, YouTube, go and do your thing. Why not? Tags. I think that was our next thing. Yeah, tags. What you want here is to put in keywords. So for your songs, what would the keywords be? Let's just assume this is a song as opposed to a tutorial, because that's more relevant for folks. You'd go Pete Johns. I'd go Pete Johns music. I'd go Studio Live Today. And yes, I just did type SLT and it brought up Studio Live Today. That is your automatic replacement, your text replacement that you have. If you've got an iPhone, an iPad, or a Mac, search text replacement. In fact, go to YouTube and search Pete Johns text replacement. I'll show you how it's done, because I got a heap of them. GarageBand is GB, right? Peter Johns is PJ. Yep. My email address is PSLT, pete@studiolivetoday.com. Do not type all the things. All right. So then what would you do? Then you'd put the name of the song. So let's say this is choices. And then I'd go Pete Johns choices, Pete Johns song, Pete Johns new song, Pete Johns single, rock song, Pete Johns rock song, Pete Johns Songtember, Pete Johns hashtag Songtember. Why don't I have Songtember as one? I should. Yeah. Pete Johns GarageBand, if I created in GarageBand. Pete Johns Logic Pro. So you're looking for everything. So what this is doing, this is complementing your title and your description. So if someone's like, oh, what's that song, that Songtember rock song that Pete Johns had? And they search Pete Johns Songtember rock song, even if none of that's in the title or the description, the tags will sort of help it bubble up and filter up to the top. So tags are less important than they used to be. They used to be pretty critical, but these days they're nice to have. So use them if you like. There's a whole bunch of it. We're not going to go into every single thing here. You can go in and look at it when you're uploading. You can basically leave everything else the same and on. Category is important. All my stuff is music. Make sure that your category is set as music or whatever it is that you want it to be. And then your comments and settings. Please allow comments. You're not going to learn. I know it can be scary. If you don't want to, if it's your first upload, you can turn comments off. And this is where you do that. You would just go off, and therefore people can't see it. Or you can just say subscribers and members can comment, but no strangers can. So that can be a safety preference as well. And sort by the top or the newest. And this one here, show you how many viewers like the video. I've seen people turn this off, and I don't really know why. It's probably a confidence thing that they don't want. So this is where, if you've ever seen a video, that usual spot down below where you can see how many of people have liked it. So if we go to John's video here, we'll just pause that. This bit here, why haven't I liked it? That's a bit sad. So you can see how many people have liked. Why aren't I subscribed? I am. That's weird. Oh, because I'm me and I've subscribed. So yeah, so you can see that. By turning that off, you won't see the thumbs up there. So look, if you really, really desperately don't want to see it, no one can see your thumbs downs anyway. And the only thing is, I guess, if no one liked your video and that would make you sad, then maybe leave that. Good question here from Rena. How many tags do you get? You get 500 characters. And you know what I like to do? I don't use, as I said before, I don't use ChatGPT for a lot of stuff. But what I do is this. So I'll just grab a ChatGPT window. Make sure I'm not sharing any of the stuff any of the deep secret research I've been working on. But what I would do is something like this. I would say YouTube video of my new rock song called Choices. Please, no, see, I'll say please. I've got to stop doing that. Generate 500 characters of tags for YouTube. This is what AI should do for you. Because I could go down, I could think about all the different things, or I could do that. And look at that. It's given it classic rock song, 2026, original rock music, indie rock artist, new rock music. So then, yeah, you just copy that, or you can even just hit down here. You copy that response, and then you come back over to your tags that we were manually doing here, and we'll just delete all of them, and we'll paste in. And there you go. It's given us too many, in fact. It's given us 502, so you can just delete one. So that's a hack. That's a good way to quickly use AI for good. And you can use any AI for that, like with whatever you're using. If you're using Google Gemini, or if you're using Claude or whatever, you can do that. 100% constructive criticism is good, and that's why I leave comments open. And you really should. Releasing without comments on, I don't think you're getting a lot of the benefit of it. Because I think you need to be brave. You need to take that step. And will some people... And look, you can go into your comments. You can delete any comments. Like I always say, people are like, oh, it's freedom of speech, democracy. No. Studio Live today is a petocracy. I get to say what stays and what goes. And if you make a comment that I don't like, I will delete it. Now, I don't if it's just someone saying, I don't like this song, or your voice grates on me like chalk on a blackboard. I'll say, hey, thanks for the feedback. Doing the best I can out here. See you on the next one. But if someone's just like, you suck, F this, see that, yeah, you'll get deleted and probably hidden from the channel, which we can do. Which we'll talk about once we get to comments, because comments are a very important part of the YouTube algorithms. In fact, the more comments, the reason comments are good is comments count as an interaction. And interactions on your content is what puts you into the famous algorithm, good old Al, and actually gets your stuff shown to other people. YouTube does say, though, that tags are really only used if your content in your stream is often misspelled. So that's why I phone it in these days. I use the cheap the what is it, AI. I cheat and use AI to do that. I don't even think The Simpsons has 500 characters. True. Hello to you, Gary Gaza Hubs. As a blind guy, I tried to learn what other places look like, but humans, sighted ones especially, don't want to answer that. It's weird. Learn what other places look like. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? And you might think, so because I'm half blind, I don't like to say half blind. I'm sighted in one eye. Perfectly good vision, but only one eye. Monocular vision, I think is what it's technically called. Yeah, I over-explain things. I mean, because I have a lot of folks in this community who are vision impaired, who are very low or no sight, I tend to explain things a lot. And that annoys some people. But I want to make sure that if you're listening to this auditorily, you're getting almost as much value as if you're watching it as well. So even though you can't see the screen, I'm telling you where I'm scrolling. I'm telling you where I'm tapping. I'm telling you where I'm clicking. I'm telling you what's going on. So hopefully you can be the judge for us, Omni. And who was here before? Why am I blanking on your name? I'm gonna have to scroll up. Bradley. Thank you. Thanks, Brain. You got there. Got there eventually. Yeah, so please tell me. But from what I've heard from vision impaired folks that watch the channel, they like it because I don't just leave. I don't say, so see this, see that. I say, here's what's happening, and that's the reason why. So not everyone will like it. And it's also why for accessibility, if you're wondering why I don't have background music in my tutorials, like a lot of people do, they're usually music tutorials, so it's kind of irrelevant. But even for talkie videos like this, it's actually way better for accessibility for folks to not have that. There are some people that, and I'm one of them, if the background music is anything but really quiet in a YouTube tutorial, I just click off. I cannot stand when people mix in background music that is unnecessary. I don't think it improves the video. I don't think it sounds cool. I'm usually listening to music in the background anyway while I'm watching a YouTube video, so just let me choose the music that I play on my videos, please. I'm sounding a bit bossy here today, aren't I? All right, so once you're done, you'll see down the bottom there, it's got checks complete, no issues found. So that's what you want here. If it had found an issue, so it had found content that was inappropriate or unacceptable, that's where it would say 1 issue found, 2 issues found. You can see the tick there means everything's good, and that little 4K says that it's already been processed, and it's already been processed right up to 4K. So if it was only a 1080p video, that would just say HD. So it'll tell you the highest resolution that you've uploaded, and it will tell you that at the bottom. So checks complete, no issues found. We go to next. And here's the most important thing. Oh, no, monetization. If you're part of the YouTube Partner Program, you can select monetization. So if we turn it on, it will monetize this, and there you'll see you can change the monetization settings more in another place, which I'll show you after. We go next to that one. Ad suitability. Again, you'll only get this if you're in the YouTube Partner Program. So this tells you all the different things, all the different reasons why advertisers won't want to. So sensitive events, inappropriate language, adult content, violence, etc. All you need to do is say none of the above and then click submit. It does its own checks, but it also wants you to self-report. And the more consistently, if you monetize, the more consistently you self-report and it doesn't find issues, it basically does less checking. So there's sort of levels of checking. So when you're starting out, it'll do a big full scrape. It'll transcribe every word. It'll check every frame of your video for anything dodgy. Once you've proven that you've released, 3,000 videos over 10 years and you've only twice had any community violations or issues, it says, yeah, we trust you now, Johns. All right. And Roque's beat me to the punch here, but yes, if you remember one thing from this, never public instantly. And we'll get to that by clicking next and get to our next screen. Here is where we can add in a bunch of stuff. So you can add subtitles if you've got your own SRT file, which again, topic for another day, but subtitles are good. I use the auto subtitles most of the time because they're pretty good these days. So a lot of people get their official subtitles, which is good too, but the auto ones are not bad. You can tag products. So if you've got a product shelf, so if you use something like Fourth Wall, which I use, I've got products there. I can go to my products. I don't have any tag. There you go. I can say, oh, I want to make sure that the t-shirt's on this one. So you can hit next and it will add the t-shirt to the bottom of my thing, not lipstick. So I can add that in and I can actually make it pop up at a certain point in the video. So it pops up that product. I can add an end screen. End screens are super powerful. I'm going to show you this when we go to a video, so I can actually show you ones here's one I prepared earlier. We'll talk about end screens in a minute. Cards can be super duper handy. For instance, if you are doing a tutorial like this and I say, and if you want to learn more about this, there's another video linked up the top and in the description. This is where I'd go to that point in the video and I'd add in a link to that video. Another great technique is for using cards is go towards the end of your video, not in the last 20 seconds, because that's where your end screen pops up, but say 30 seconds and say, check out my other amazing tracks here, or whatever thing you want to put in there. And then you can just add it. You go add video, you choose the video that you want to add there, and then you can put a custom message here, like check out this amazing vid next. Oops, too many words. And then if we save that in, that's going to pop up. It's going to pop up with that custom message once it hits that point in the video. Quizzes are new, and I haven't actually looked at what they do yet, but I should. I should, for reasons I'll tell you in just a moment. So we'll go to next, and look, there you go. So this is just reinforcing what it says down the bottom here. Copyright, no issues found. Ad suitability, no issues found. You get green ticks, you're happy, you're golden. And we go next, and here's the point. This defaults to public, when you first log into YouTube, when you're first setting up this defaults to public, I think it should 100% not default to public. Never, ever. Even if you're 100% sure you've uploaded the right video, you've got all your tags, you've done everything, just don't do it. Friends don't let friends save as public. Save it as unlisted so that you can go in and check it. It's the old carpenter's thing, isn't it? Measure twice, cut once. Roque said it perfectly. Yep, never public instantly. There's no point. There's absolutely no point. You want to check it. Plus, you want to do a couple of additional things that I'm going to show you in just a jiffy. So you hit the save button and it's saved into your content dashboard, ready to rock and roll. Here it goes. There it is. Unlisted. Unlisted. So there's all my public videos and there's my unlisted video ready to rock and roll. I'll jump back over here for just a jiffy. If you're getting some value out of this one, please hit the thumbs up. Because the thumbs up is another form of interaction. Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments, views, watch time, they're all important. They all come together and result in whether the robots will determine that this video is worthy for other humans to watch. It all comes down to the robots. So you can help as a human. You can do your human duty by pressing the thumbs up button, and that will help tell the robots that we're doing a good thing here. All right, my mouse is back. Excellent. I can use the mouse to do the rest of this, which is cool. I had no idea it could do all this. Yeah, look, it's amazing once you dive into it. How long do you recommend leaving it unlisted? Great question from Thomas Christ, the master. As long as it's fully processed, you're good to go. And the way you'll know that is if you got all green here. If this has got processing, I'll show you what it will look like if it's not. We'll just do another quick one just so I can show you what it'll look like. We'll upload. We'll just grab another random video. We'll grab my... Oh, no, that's 33 gigabytes. We will not upload that one. We'll upload this GarageBand to Logic. And by the way, don't ever do this. Don't re-upload the exact same. I'm not going to make this one public, obviously, but don't do that because if you make two exact videos public, if you try to double dip, YouTube will ping you on it. It's called duplicate content, and it will ping you and it will remove either one or both of those videos because it doesn't want you. Because what a lot of people are starting to do is release the same video, but with a different thumbnail and title, so that they can like get different views and they can like do A/B testing and then they'll delete out the other one. YouTube actually lets you do that now, and I'll show you where that is. If you're part of the YouTube Partner Program, it'll let you actually do that by doing it here. You can actually do A/B testing by tapping on that and putting in up to 3 different titles. So it gives you the option to do that, but never release the same exact video. If you need to do that because you made a mistake or something, delete the first one first. Otherwise, you'll get pinged for duplicate content. What was I showing you here? Oh, yeah, and your thumbnail too. You can do A/B testing with your thumbnail. You can upload up to 3 thumbnails and test the title and thumbnail to see what works best. And it'll do it over like, I think 10 days. And then it will give you the percentage of watch time for each different title and thumbnail. And then you can decide and say, I want... yes, SD and HD means good to go, exactly. So this one's uploading. I'm just going to flick through this because I want to show you what it looks like before you can do it. We'll leave monetization off just to save time on this one. So we'll save it. So if you don't have the time to do all that at the time, that's fine. But you can see there it's still uploading and it's still sitting here uploading that video file. Oh, it's going to take 12 minutes. I probably should have picked a smaller one. Yeah, let's close this off. Basically, yeah, see how it said SD next to it? Yeah, it's still uploading there. And pending. So the standard definition version of your video needs to finish processing before your video is unlisted on YouTube. So if we go into this video right now, it's not going to even exist. So if we click the link here, it'll say video still processing. Check back later. But yeah, if you just see SD, don't go. If you see SD and HD and it's only an HD video, that's when it's good. So as soon as the video quality is here, SD and HD. It usually takes anywhere from about 10 minutes to 30 minutes. So it's not a long time to process, but it also depends on the length of your video. So if I've got like a 2-hour deep dive video, it can take obviously a lot longer to upload and then a lot longer for it to process up to full res. But if you've made the mistake before, and I have, we've all done it, of releasing before it's actually fully processed, it means people can still watch it, but when they go to the watch page, it won't have the option for HD, for 1080p or for 4K. And they'll just watch it in furry, fuzzy, blurry standard definition, which is no bueno. Yes, always unlisted or private before public. So unlisted also before you post it private. Either way, so the only difference is unlisted is good if you want to say send it to someone else to check on. If you make it private, no one can see it. If it's unlisted, other people can see it, but only if they have the link. Another trap here, please listen to this. If you leave it unlisted, but you add it to a playlist, it will still show up in that public playlist. I'll say it again. Do not add your unlisted video to your playlist until you've made it public. I nearly made a horrible mistake with this when I was under embargo with Apple. I'd done a bunch of Logic Pro tutorials and I'd added them to my Logic Pro tutorial playlist, and I was about to hit save on those unlisted videos and then schedule them for release. And I thought, because if someone was going in there looking at like watching another Logic Pro video and they go to the playlist, they're like, oh, special hidden secret unlisted videos in here. So even if it's unlisted, if it's in a playlist and that playlist is public, people can see it. So you got your brand new song about to drop. Don't add it to your Pete's Music playlist until you've hit the public button, then quickly go back in and add it into your playlist and you'll be good to go. If the playlist is unlisted, that's fine. But again, if someone's got the unlisted playlist and it's got unlisted songs in it, they need to have that playlist. But if it's a public playlist, private videos, they'll show up, but when someone clicks them, they won't play. But unlisted videos will actually go into, it's a bit of a mess. Like, I don't know why. It's probably just a YouTube capability thing. Obviously, it would be better if it didn't, because if you've got a video unlisted, why would you want it to be on a public playlist? It doesn't really make a heck of a lot of sense. Alrighty, yes, yeah, there you go. So keep that in mind, and it's like it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect you that often. It's not one of those things. It's not important until it is, and by that stage, it's too late. So don't do it. Don't do it while you're waiting. Where we're up to, thumbnails. So your first impression matters, yeah? So what do you want from a thumbnail? You want high contrast, simple visuals, clear subject, minimal or no text. And if there is text, it should be bold and readable. And it should tell the story instantly. Now, all of that is kind of around doing tutorials and stuff. But it's the same with your music videos as well. You don't want a whole screen full of stuff. So the sort of thumbnails that I produce, let's see if these fit these categories. So here's my 300th episode of Your Music Live, which is coming right up. So what have we got here? We've got Your Music Live in very contrasty text. I've got my logo, I've got a picture of me pointing, I've got the little gremlin from DistroKid, and it says 300th episode spectacular. Even that 300th episode spectacular, I've just put in there because I wanted to kind of give it a bit of pizzazz. That's probably too small. At a thumbnail size, no one's reading that. You can read Your Music Live, can't you? And this is a good thing. This is what I'd say. If you're using Canva or whatever you're using, zoom out on it, because you're creating it like this and let's put in some like 18-point text. That'll be huge. But remember, people are looking on a screen at about that size, right? Yeah, absolutely. Any text should be scandalously clickbaitish. Absolutely. But if we go to one of my other playlists, so one of my other ones. So, for instance, GarageBand to Logic. What have we got here? We got text. Look at the size of this text. 104 point. So if I wanted to, again, you're putting in here, what can I put? Like, how to transfer from GarageBand iOS to Logic Pro for iPad. So let's do that, and let's put it in like 20-point font. Nah, ain't no one going to see that. But you see people, don't you? You see people with like tiny little text on their videos. Even at that size. Who's reading that? Because like I could read it just here and you can probably see it. But remember, thumbnail. At that size, you can clearly still see GarageBand to Logic. So if someone's flicking through their phone or on their screen, they'll see, hey, I want to transfer from GarageBand to Logic. And then what do they see? They say my mug. So they're like, great, it's a human. So the only reason I put myself on my thumbnails, it's got nothing to do with clickbaitery. It's got nothing to do with like self-flagellation. It's these days, there's so much AI bullshit. So many of those horrible AI voiceover videos that I want to show people. And it's why I show my face cam. Like, I don't have to show my face cam in a GarageBand or a Logic Pro tutorial, but so many of them are just horrible AI generated slop that it's actually a differentiator. So this is why I recommend, it's sort of gone yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, as to whether you should put yourself on your thumbnails. These days, I say do it. Even if it's your rock song, put a picture of you with a guitar on it because it's a human. You got to prove it. I know it's sad that in 2026 you have to prove that you are not a robot and that you're actually a human. There you go. Should do an entire show with his bland vocal fry voice. Yeah, no. Through a vocoder. That would be fun. So don't do that. But yeah, again, you can see the screenshots here. So I could probably have done better with this. I could probably have made this like a bigger Logic Pro. Or you know what, in hindsight, I could probably have done this. I reckon that would be a better way to have this. I might actually change this. Anyway, we're not here to go into detail on design here, but I was just looking at myself and I'm like, I reckon I've kind of broken my own rules here. And you'll notice that, yes, I refuse to use the new GarageBand logo. I think it looks ridiculous. So yeah, so something like that would actually be even better, because then again, when you're looking at it at thumbnail size, you can quickly see, oh, GarageBand to Logic. Oh, and I can see the GarageBand and the Logic Pro iOS logos there really clearly. So that might be even a better way to go. And then I can put that on my head. All right. Now that I've ruined that one. So that's your focus there. So high contrast, simple visuals, clear subject, minimal or no text, and you'll be good. Because you want someone to be scrolling past and see it. You got about half a second of people's eyeballs. So in that half a second, it has to go bang. Has to be a big picture of Hubs with his face and grizzly beard going with his bass guitar. And you're like, yes, I want to watch that one. All right. Let's go back. So let's talk about your descriptions that actually help. Right. So your first two lines matter most. That's your search and that's your click content. I'll show you what that means in a moment. You want your key information in your description and you want your standard links to everything that you do. So keep a reusable template to save time. This is the best. If I give you one, again, I said this before, but if I could give you two pieces of advice, they would be this. So have some notes. Let's bring this across here and I'll show you what I mean. I'm a OneNote user just because I've used OneNote for decades, but you can use notes, you can have a spreadsheet, you can do whatever you want. But you can see here, I have my standard YouTube template at the top here. I have my Songtember template. I have my Logic Pro template. I have my podcast template for when I used to do a podcast. I have Your Music Live template. So all of these, I just copy and paste. And you can see here I've got tags. So they're my standard Your Music Live tags. Sorry, we'll zoom you in there. And then I have all the title. So again, my titles are all standardized. I just copy and paste that. And then I have all this. So yeah, this is all of all my resources, all the ways to contact me. That all goes into every. So I'm not retyping this every time. I'm not having to go to a previous one. I've got this here ready to rock and roll. And I've even got my music. So this is the one that I'd recommend that you do something similar to. So set yourself up. So this is my tags that I use for when I've got a music release. And this is the description I use. And you can see there, I've followed this. This is from, I first did this template or updated this template in 2022, which is why Toxic Ego lyric video by Pete Johns, released February 14th, 2022, just in time for Valentine's Day. Stream or buy the song. And I've got there a vanity link, petejohns.com/toxic. So again, straight to the point. Credits there, stream or buy my music. So go straight to petejohns.com, etc. Support me in the channel. So if you like me, if you beg for tips, you can put links to things like your memberships, your Patreons, one-off donation, other related music videos. So I put my Pete Johns music playlist, and then I like to put a little behind the song thing in here. So I just talk about a little bit about the song and then the lyrics. So lyrics are important because people, if they're searching Pete Johns, I can't remember the name of that song, but it's like, it goes, that drives me so crazy. Pete Johns drives me so crazy. And then you search Pete Johns drives me so crazy. I think my wife searched that term in her YouTube a few times. Pete Johns drives me so crazy. Then it might actually come up. Won't always. In fact, let's try it. Let's see. If I go, because I know that those lyrics are in here. If I go Pete Johns, Pete Johns drives me so crazy. Let's see. There you go. So, and maybe I've said the same, maybe I use those lyrics and never to blame. But it would take someone not very much time to find that and that. And look, they're a couple of ideas of thumbnails for my songs. Never to Blame, nice contrasting tone. I wouldn't use that red as a background anymore. Why? Because you see how this one, it's got that red line there. That's important. Never make your background, especially at the bottom of your thumbnail, red, because people won't know if they've watched it or not. And that's annoying. You don't want to annoy people. So either I would use a different tone of red there or a different color, or make sure that you've got a border around it so that the bottom of it shows that little red line. Otherwise, people will not know that they've seen the video, and it's no bueno. So there's your description, but I wanted to reiterate the important thing. Where were we? Back to here. So this is my You're Wrong, and this is the description of that one. So You're Wrong lyric video. Now, in hindsight, I probably would put my Pete Johns there. I mean, the channel name is Pete Johns Studio Live Today. So, but I wanted to keep it short, sweet, and simple here. You're Wrong, featuring Jade Star, Gary Hubbs, lyric video by Pete Johns. There, that's your first line. So that's the most important. That is way more important than any tags, than anything else you put in your description. Because what the algorithm uses to help people find your video is your title and the first line of your description. And the thumbnail is what gets people to then click it. So if you want, the robots don't care about the thumbnail, but the humans do. But the robots really care about your title and the first line of your description. The second line always needs to be a link. I remember, I think it was Gary. I was using you as an example, Gary, not in a bad way, but I've noticed Gary uses these techniques in his videos now. And they work because the first thing I want to have there is buy on Bandcamp. Now, technically, using a YouTube link there will get it more clarity because YouTube don't want to send people out of YouTube. So if I'm doing a tutorial, I won't ever put donate or anything. I'll always put a link to a playlist of other related videos as that one. So then, yep, you can see I've used the exact same template that I used on the previous one that you saw in my template, including the lyrics. Excuse me. Oh, there you go. Exactly. One case where red doesn't make things go faster. I tried to have a drink to to make sure I didn't get a frog in my throat, and it did the exact opposite. So there's all the bits and pieces. There's where you upload the thumbnail. So if you're wondering, hey, if I didn't do it at the time, where do I do it here? It is down here where you upload your thumbnail. Playlists. This is on 2 different playlists, Pete Johns Music and Songtember 2025. And again, when I had it unlisted, I didn't add it to those playlists until then. If you want to add something to a new playlist, you just go there and you either tap the playlist you want it to be on, or you go new playlist and you create it. When you create a new playlist, which I suggest you do, again, same thing here. Title, Pete Johns Music, Adelaide Performer or something, whatever you want. The title will be, and then description, always give it a description. Just say a collection of rad songs from Adelaide singer, songwriter Pete Johns, blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to actually do it. And then hit create, and it will create that. And again, your visibility there, make sure that it's public if you want it to be, or unlisted if you don't. And you can put unlisted videos in an unlisted playlist, to Frank's question before, and they won't show up publicly to anyone. But as soon as either the video or the playlist is public, even if the video is unlisted, it's going to go to everybody, and you might not want that. All right, all the rest of this is what we showed you before, what we set up in the other part. Again, we can go to the show more, and you can tap all of that stuff. There you go. I can invite a collaborator. See, I probably should have done that. Probably should have invited Jade. Shall I do that? I'll show you how to do this, because I'll show you how this works. So what I would do here is, because Jade, I can go Jade Star Music and create a link. And see, there's a link. So I can copy that, and then I'd say share that to Jade. And then we'll go share. Oh, close. Oh, that's the share it on social. So yeah, so there's an invitation. Let's also add Gaz. Not Gary V, Gary Hubs. Not Gary's Eats, although I do like Gary Eats. Gary's Hub. There you go. Create link. Cool. Done. So there you go. And I'll then go and send those pending acceptance. So they have to actually accept before it actually happens. So you don't have to worry. Early on, people were like, oh, I'll add Mr. Beast. And it's like, yeah, no, that doesn't work that way. So save that in, and there you go. Changes are saved. So, and then you can manage the collaborators by coming back in here if I need to do that. It is a nice ad. It's useful for things. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, look, that's the point. Like, it's not just, there'll be some of this stuff that you know. Some folks may know none of this, but I just wanted to share it because there's a lot of it changes over time, and what's important and not important changes over time as well. All the automated stuff there. There's all the tags that we talked about before. Your language, of course, you can change. If like Sylvie or Mark were doing a song in French, you'd want to change the language there to French. Recording date, so you can add in the recording date and the location if you want to. Not really a point to do that. Standard YouTube license, or you can use Creative Commons attribution if you don't want to monetize it and you want it to be completely Creative Commons. I basically say my stuff's Creative Commons anyway, even though it's technically the standard YouTube license. Distribution is everywhere, so you can make this video only on monetized platforms. So that's an interesting one. I've never used that. Allow embedding, so that's where people can put the video inside like a web page. So I always allow embedding because I have a blog that I put it into. Shorts remixing, allow video and audio remixing, allow only audio, don't allow remixing. I don't really know what that does. I've never used the Shorts remix feature, but I think it's a way where you can allow people to use your video and then make a short using your video. Costa won't do locations. No, Costa's not a stalker. Don't believe it. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe what you've said. And then the comments and ratings there as well. And you can change things like your moderation. And this is what you can... So your comments, this is a good tip. If you are concerned about comments, just come in here to moderation and hold all. So this means as soon as anyone makes a comment, it goes into your comment bucket and you get to choose whether it goes through or not. So don't turn off comments, but feel free to hold them because then you can go in and check them. If you don't want to be, say you're sharing a song and you're sharing it with your family and your mum and whatever, you don't want some internet troll to go in there and put some rude words or something. Or the dodgy, we don't see too many of them these days, but for a while there were spammers that would put those like Bitcoin sort of, I found great guy on Telegram, him make me money Bitcoin. And then like it puts a comment and replies, I also use James Smith for Bitcoin. It great. Yeah, we don't see those too much anymore. Anyway, but yeah, put that so you can make it strict. So that just really will hold a lot more of the comments and not let them through if there's any likelihood that they're inappropriate, or again, hold all. None, I wouldn't recommend. I'd at least use the basic because there's stuff that lands in the spam folder of the comments, which I'll show you. I deliberately haven't done my comments today so that we can do them together. Yes, I'm going to be brave. We're going to jump into my comments and show you them. And then how many viewers like this video is the last one that you have there. So that is all the stuff. And again, do make sure that you focus on title, thumbnail, and first 2 lines of description. Honestly, if you do those 3 things, that's about 90% done at that point. Everything else is just the icing on the cake. If you just want the cake, the delicious, delicious cake, do those 3 things. What's Shorts remixing is when people making shorts can use your music in their shorts without penalty. Oh yeah, which they can do. I don't care. Everyone can use my music everywhere. I'm going to allow it. All right. All right. Where are we at? Descriptions. Comment management. Don't fear the comments. Most comments will be neutral or positive. Respond early to build engagement. Ignore or remove genuinely harmful comments. And you control your space. It's your channel. They're your video. You do your thing, right? Again, it's not a democracy. It's a petocracy. You do not have to allow things to sit there and to fester. If you don't like it, remove it. And look, some people will then come back and say, you removed my comment. But guess what? If you hide them from the channel, you're not seeing their comments anyway. All right, I'm just going to jump out of there and I'm going to go into my creative studio. So the YouTube Creator Studio. If you go to studio.youtube.com, this is what you get. It pops you into here and you can manage all of your content. You can go to your dashboard. I can't show you it because it's got some personally sensitive information on there. I'm not allowed to actually show you on YouTube. Things like click-through rates and financial stuff I can't show on a public forum. If you're a patron or a member, I go into that detail sometimes. But we're here to talk comments. You've got, so your content is all out here. You've got your videos, your shorts, your lives, your posts, your playlists, everything's across the top there. But what we're looking at here is community. This is where our comments go. So you've got comments, viewer posts, and mentions. I don't even know what viewer posts are. And mentions is where someone else, so there's DJ Big Red mentioning me in a post. There's Dell mentioning that he's on YML. More DJ Big Red stuff. The Vibe Vault Weekly Indie Music live stream mentioned us there, which is cool. Paul O'Farrell. So yeah, any public mentions where they use at Pete John Studio Live today, we'll go there. We can see those. And then if you want to see who's posted about you can do that. But comments. So this is what it'll be by default. It'll be published comments. You can sort by most relevant default or the newest. You can put the response status as unresponded, which I'd recommend. And the content type is all content, basically. So you can use the filters here to filter it by whatever you like. So you can change those and remove those as you go. So this is a video from like 7 years ago. And this is my better touch guitar sounds on iOS using the app simulator. Thank you so much. Now, because I know this is an older video, here's the strategy. Here's the Pete Johns marketing brain going into action. What I would do at this stage is come here and search Pete Johns GarageBand guitar. And because I know that was an older video and I've got a newer GarageBand guitar. At least I think I did. GarageBand virtual guitar. There it is. Virtual guitar. So this one's only from 2 years ago. So what I would do here is copy this, share it, copy it, and paste it here in my reply. So what do? I always like the comment. I always love the comment, which you don't have to do. If you want to make loving your comments a special thing for only special comments, you can do that. But I like to love the comment. And then in my reply, I'll say YVW. There you go. YVW, you're very welcome, my friend. I hope you get value from the other videos and here on the channel and consider subscribing. There you go, right? And then here's another video you might find interesting. Link to video. Hit reply. So your comment section, it's for a few things. It's great to acknowledge the comment. So at minimum, like or heart it. If you just say thanks, that can mean a lot. If you don't have a lot of time or you don't want to be wordy about it. But it's also a chance for a little teensy bit of self-promotion. And ask for a subscribe. You've got to ask. If you don't ask, you don't get, right? You've got to ask the question. So just do it. Just ask. Why not? Okay, let's do another couple here. We will just increase the size here so that you can see it. I just received my Apple USB 3 adapter from eBay, and it was brand and factory sealed in a box for $14 to go with my Focusrite audio interface and Sony earbuds, which has a mic attached for live streaming. So if I don't want to use my big Sony headphones and my Rode NT1, I can just use the earbuds with the mic to control the volume and hear myself during the live stream. Cool. So this guy's just telling me what he's done. So I'll just go, cool. Awesome. Happy creating. And this time I'm going to use IHY because I've used my text replacement to set up. I hope you get value from the other videos on the channel and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Also, if you're looking for any more gear, head over to my gear guide at studiolivetoday.com/gear, which is SLTG. I'm telling you, text replacement will change your life. If you've never used it before, let's go to the Finder. Text replacement. Where are they? There they are. So text replacement. So you can do it on a Mac, but it's also on iOS. Why isn't that loading? There they are. So it's in your settings here under keyboard, and look at all these. I got a heap. I've even got carrots. If I want to do 3 carrots, I put CCC. Should we confuse this guy? So you can use it for emojis. You can use it for entire paragraphs. You can use it for phrases. As I told you before, you can use it for your email address. Like, how good is that to enter your email address? So yeah, just search text replacement on your iPhone, iPad, or Mac. It is a game changer. All right, hit reply and we're good to go. Alrighty, there are other things that we can do here. So at the moment, we've got response stated unresponded and content type, and we've got published here. What about held? You know how I showed you that thing before? How do you find the comments that haven't been posted? Do we do this publicly? Oh, let's come over here. I'm not quite that. I'll show it to you, but it can be a bit saucy. So I'll just see if we've got any held comments at the moment. Alrighty. So we've got under held comments. We've got this one's okay. So this one is from Emilio, who's a very common, and he's given me a bunch of additional information here, which is great, but he's used a link. So YouTube has said with this one, no, this is not going to get through because it's used a link. So we're going to let it through. So in this case, we're going to approve it and tap there. We've gone to the next one, hasn't it? So the next one has a swear word in it. So it says, yay, I just F around, but this is quite motivating to Dave a few months up and finally invest in a laptop, lol. I don't really know what that means, but I don't like having swear words in my comments, which is why it's blocked it. So I'm not going to show you that one. I'm just going to hit the remove button. What I could do is hide the user from the channel, which means that if they comment on any other video, they'll think they've put a comment on there, but it won't show up. It's actually pretty funny. I kind of like the low-key, passive-aggressive way that YouTube manages that. So I won't hide it from the channel. You can report it if it's spam or if it's abuse. So the only time I use that, I don't care about abuse. I've never had bad enough abuse, but I don't report abuse. I just delete it and move on or hide the person from the channel. But in this case, we're just going to remove the comment. So we hit the delete button and it goes away. Another one there from Emilio. Poor Emilio is putting the links in there. So we're going to tick that one just to let it through. And once it's ticked, it will put it into the published. So then we can go back and answer those comments afterwards. And look, we've got another one here. I don't know what's this? So this is from someone we played on YML. Thank you so much, Pete. You rock. Now into which rabbit hole do I subsume myself to learn the granular details about chicken salt? Many thanks for spinning. Am I here yet? Love the show. So it's got blocked words. I've got no idea what blocked words they are, but I'm obviously okay with that. So I'm just going to hit the tick button there. I'll see if there's anyone I need to. It's rare that there's anyone that I need to block from the channel. Someone's used a hashtag in the next one. It says blah. Someone must see this. I'm just going to tick that one. This one is. Yeah, so this one from Doug Wolf, spelled D-U-G Wolf, says, and what the F do ballad writers do with the hyperspeed crap like hip-hop garbage? All that S, some of us actually write songs with words. This does not give us Jack S. What makes creators think we're all meth-riddled rapers who want our minds destroyed by something that makes no sense? Too much truth, then give us better plugins. So that was all in response to my GarageBand's free sound library. Here's 20,000 free sounds you can use in your GarageBand projects. And apparently touched a bit of a nerve. And look, do I disagree? Do I think there should be more guitar sounds and more vocal samples and stuff that is not another round of 808s? Yes. So I'm not going to block this person. I'm just going to delete it because it doesn't need to go on there. All right. So yeah, you can see the sort of things there, and look, it's outside of the scope of this video. You can look up how to do it. I've done a video on it before, but you can set up your own set of blocked words as well. So if there's particular words that you are particularly triggered by, so I block F and C. I don't block the S word because sometimes we all just say things are a bit shit, and I think it's more acceptable these days. But F and C are blocked. A bunch of them, Emma, effort, like all the variations. So, and they'll just go into your held stuff. I know, and it was all caps too, with very minimal punctuation. But it's the sort of stuff you get in there. But again, The other thing is, if you never go in to your held comments, they'll just never be there. They'll never show up. You're the only one that can see them, and you get to decide whether they stay. Should they stay or should they go now? All right, I've got a few more things to get through here, a few more tips to add to your repertoire when you are doing your YouTubing. Playlists. Playlists are an underrated growth tool. You can group similar songs or similar sessions or similar videos together. It can help viewers binge your content. It improves discoverability, and it's great for organizing your catalog. Your catalog. So what do I have in the way of playlists? I have my live shows playlist. That always has the 4 most recent shows that I'm doing. So that has this show in it, and it has GarageBand Weekly, Your Music Live, and the Happy Hour. They're all in there. My new Pete's Discs, which is my new shorts content there. And then Logic Pro for iPad tutorials. This is my, as you can see there, views is at 72,000 views based from this playlist, and it's got 89 videos in it. So the beauty of that is if I link to that, instead of linking to, say, just one video, I know that I've trapped them. They're in my web. And it's the same with you and your music. If instead of you linking to a song, you link to your playlist of a whole album of songs, then people will listen to one and it'll autoplay. If they've got autoplay on, it'll just keep going and on and on. So to set up a new playlist, pretty straightforward. You just add a new playlist. You can't actually do it in here, can you? You need to do it within the video. So this is the trap. You need to go to a video and edit it. So we'll go to this one here and go down to the playlist section, and under playlists, new playlist. And just as we showed you before, you add that. And again, you can have different playlists, but can't go wrong. You can't have too many playlists. So you could have, like for me, I've got my GarageBand one, I've got my Logic Pro one, I've got my Apple releases. So whenever Apple do announce and events and things, so that way if people watch the first one of them, it'll start showing them the previous and the previous and the previous. And eventually they'll be back in 2020 and I'll be like, oh, look at my brand new Apple M1 Mac Mini. 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 storage will be more than enough. Yeah. So yeah, use those and you'll be good. Collaboration is great. So start small. So yeah, shout outs, comments, community posts, collaborate with similar sized creators is always a good idea. Remote collabs are easier than ever, and community instead of competition. So when I first started this, I reached out to a bunch of folks. Patrick from the GarageBand Guide, and he kind of became like my almost mentor, you'd say. I watched what Patrick did and admired him from afar, and now we're quite good mates. And I really realized early on that collaboration is greater than competition. Sorry, I'm on my old chair now. It's still broken. I wanted to see maybe because I lost some weight, maybe I wouldn't. It wouldn't slowly sink anymore, but still doing it. But yeah, collaborating with other folks is really cool, either in your music or in videos that you're sharing. So just doing an interview. There's no reason why we see it all the time now. Like StreamYard is cheap and affordable and free in some cases. You can jump on a stream with someone, you can record it and then edit it and then release it afterwards or whatever, like just a chat. And you'd be surprised. People are like, oh, you've told me all this stuff, but that's fine. You're a YouTuber. You're producing tutorials. I just do songs. You don't have to though. Take people behind the scenes. Show a live performance. Like do a short video that's just a bit wacky and out there and just shows a bit of your personality. Anything you can do that's going to attract people in to what is the main event, which is your music. Why do you think I do this whole channel? Yeah, I don't really want to help you create, record, and release music. I just want a place to put my music so people will come and watch it. Yes, Patrick from the GarageBand Guide. I promised myself I wouldn't do them, but I did. But yeah, like Mike from Creative Source, who I'm trying to tee up for a future one of these, by the way, because I haven't had Mike on the channel for a while. But yeah, and of course, Jade Star, Thomas Christ, all the cool kids in the community, Brad, Leela. Yeah, there's lots of, and again, it's not just about going, oh, I can only collaborate with people. Like, reach out to bigger YouTubers. You never know. You don't know till you ask. So even though more likely you'll want to collaborate with people that are kind of at a similar stage in their journey, don't limit yourself. And the same the other way around. Like, I don't limit myself. I know that there's a lot of creators that are up and coming that hopefully they'll do well. I wish no one bad. And again, I know it's easy because you're like, oh, it's competition. But the high tide raises all ships, baby. I won't stop believing in that. Even a blind guy can be on the interviewee side of a StreamYard chat. There you go. There you go. Nice one. All right. Yeah, hashtags. I haven't specifically said hashtags, but do use hashtags if you can. You get three hashtags to use. So for my GarageBand tutorials, I use hashtag GarageBand, hashtag whatever the thing is. Same for Logic Pro, hashtag Logic Pro iPad. So, yep. There's room for everyone at the table. You shouldn't be comparing your bowl to the person sitting next to you unless it's to make sure they have enough. Oh, use the YouTube features. So again, we don't have a heap of time to go into all of them because we're already over time here. But YouTube has shorts. YouTube has live streams. YouTube has community posts. YouTube has weird tests that they put in from time to time. I've got to work out what the heck this quizzes is all about. I'm going to add some quizzes to something. So the more of the new things that YouTube gives you to use that you use, the more YouTube will like you and generally recommend you. So shorts, and look, I'm going to be very honest with you. Shorts do not make revenue. If you think, oh, wow, I'm going to get a short video and it's going to go viral and I'm going to make millions of dollars. Shorts, it's no actual rule around this, but generally because of the nature of shorts, because of the low amount of ads that they run against shorts, short video content makes around 10 to 20 times less per view than medium form content. So if I do a 10-minute tutorial, let's say I get paid, I'll pull a number out of the air, 10 cents a view. It's not even that much. Shorts would be about half a cent a view, literally. So short videos are more about getting people's eyeballs and ear holes. And it's working for me. The reason I do my Pete's Discs, which if you haven't watched, is just a minute to 2 minutes where I get a CD, I stick it on, I talk about it, I basically geek out over how cool it is to listen to whole albums and have physical media. And I've done 12 of them so far. They're really fun to do. And they get a couple of thousand views each. But a lot of people have had a chat in there. And you saw what I did before. If I show my Nirvana rare EP and someone in there's a Nirvana fan, what am I going to say to them when they put a comment? I'm like, hey, thanks so much for your comment. Glad you enjoyed it. If you're ever looking for information about how to create, record, and release music, check out the channel. Here's the link. There you go. So yeah, again, it's not about being sleazy. This is the thing. It would be sleazy if I did what other people do, which is jump into people's live streams and jump into people's comment sections and say, play me, play my fire beat. I'm awesome. I'm fire. Woo, woo, woo. And they're not. They're not. All right. We'll move now. Yes. I know. It needs to do more. Yeah, they're more like ads, kind of, sort of. Exactly. More like it. All right. So yeah, use all the features. Build a simple publishing system. So the same process every time. So record, thumbnail, upload, schedule. So remove that decision fatigue. So that's why I've done what I've done here. Like whenever I'm doing something, I don't have a Canva tutorial per se, but let's say I'm doing a new tutorial. I would just go to this low latency monitoring one. I would make a copy of it because it's already got everything in the right format that I want it. I'll come into it. I'll delete the photo, find a different pointing peak to put it on there. I'll take a screenshot and paste the screenshot in here, and then I'll update the title because I already know that that's the format that I want to use for that. So having that ready to go, and then you saw my my OneNote document, which has all the templates. Every time I release a video, I just go to that OneNote document, paste that in, upload the details, and we're off to the races. So if you have that set up, do your first video, do your first song, release it, and then save it somewhere. Save it as a template. Templates work for the win, because the last thing you want to do is when you've done all the hard creative work, you just want you want to be able to just go through, tick, 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 do everything. Get your checklist done. Pretend you're a pilot and doing your checklisting. Number 22 overall, reduce overwhelm with small steps. Yeah. So don't think about the whole part. I've shown you a lot today, and many of you, depending on your brain chemistry, are a bit overwhelmed by how much you're like, man, there's a lot that goes into it, but it's all just tiny chunks. Don't think about the whole pop line. Focus on the next action only. It's why having a checklist or a process document works. One upload at a time. Don't try and boil the ocean. Just do one thing at a time. Progress beats intensity. If you chunk it down, so just think about it. So the first part is planning. So what am I going to record? Then there's recording. Do the recording. Then there's editing. Edit it together. Then there's uploading. Upload and do your titles and tags and description. Then there's thumbnail. Create your thumbnail. Yeah, put it all together and you hit public. It really is that simple. There's a lot of little minutiae and details in there, but you can do it really simply to start with. Doesn't have to be hard. Lean into community as well. Share with your audience, not the internet. It's much more daunting if you're thinking, I'm sharing this publicly with the internet. No, you're not. You're sharing it with a fairly small subset of another small subset of a group of people that like the sort of content you create and are interested in it. And that's fine. Engage with other creators as well. Be part of the community. Again, the whole going in and saying, play my 5 Bs would be a lot better if we'd actually seen that username before, if they were in there listening to other people's music, if they were actually part of the community. But they're not. A lot of those folks aren't interested in community. They're interested in them. But yeah, your community supports your growth, right? You're not doing it alone. Anytime you have that thought, oh my God, I'm so alone. No one's ever felt like I feel. No one's ever been in the exact same position I have. You're probably wrong. I'm not saying you don't have your own unique set of challenges. We all do. But each one of those is something that someone else has gone through before, somewhere. And you can find those people out there. They're there in the community. You'll never walk alone. Right. Last, 24. We've done it. We got there. Focus on value, not numbers. Have you noticed that I haven't mentioned the vanity metrics? I've barely mentioned views. I haven't mentioned subscribers. I haven't mentioned any of that. Why? They all come later. If you're doing things, it's like making music. If you're making music with, sorry, it's back. Oh, Tom's laughing. He's chuckling. He's like, you still haven't got that chair fixed, Johns. I need to go back to my stool. Yeah, the views and the subscriptions and all those vanity metrics, they come later. If you start out doing things for those reasons, you are not going to create music or create videos or create content that is going to be successful and that is going to make you happy. I kind of know the sort of videos I could make if I really just wanted to get pure numbers. I'd have a prank channel. I'd do ridiculous, stupid things that I don't agree with, or I would rage bait people. I'd be the Australian Rick Beato and just always be angry and rage baity. Or I'd focus on the negative, or I'd slam developers and products and say why everything's so crap all the time. But I don't, because I need to sleep at night too. I don't want to feel all those things. So I don't. So focus on the value. Is this going to help someone? And over time, it will compound. And this is the reason why I don't sweat the petty stuff and I don't pet the sweaty stuff. I don't worry. If I release a video, I'm not concerned about the success or failure of that one particular video because I'm going to do it again and again and again. And some of it will be great. Some of it will succeed. Some of it will fail. And by fail, I just mean not achieve what I would hope it would. But that's not a reflection on me. And it's going to be learning experiences because I'm going to see, okay, next time it's not worth me going to the effort to create X content because X content didn't do very well. I'll focus on Y content because last time I released a Y video, people seemed to like Y. So there you go. But yeah, value definitely compounds over time. Did this give you some help? Did this give you some value? I sure hope so. If you press the thumbs up button, I would love you forever and a day. I haven't done Frog Stomp yet. No, I've got to do some. Oh, did I do Silverchair? Yeah, I did do Frog Stomp. I did. Yes, I did indeed. Let me see. If you go to my playlist, let me just check my playlist of my Pete's discs. Here we go. Yeah, so there they are. So, yeah, there's Frog Stomp. Best Oz alt rock record ever? Question mark. But yeah, you can see the value here because now it's got all the little thumbnails. You can see every album cover of all the ones that I've done. And it's right there on the side. So yeah. Go and check out Pete's Discs if you would like to. Alrighty. I do. I have to do something about the chair, don't I? All right. So to sum up, there's nothing wrong with anyone here. You are having the same feelings and thoughts as other people. If you aren't releasing your songs, if you aren't doing videos right now, but you want to be, you will get there. You may have fear. You may think you can't do it. You can. You may think that the second you release, the evil internet trolls are going to just crack straight down on you. They're not. You'll probably have the other problem, which is that no one will watch or listen to it straight away. But then guess what? Some people will. And you'll get some likes and you'll get some comments. And then you'll get, most importantly, some feedback to learn what worked, what didn't work, what you can do next time. That's it. We all have different brains. We all have different challenges, but we all have different strengths as well. Yeah? So we are all our own superheroes. You've just got to tap in to what it is that you can do really well. And look, video creating might not be for everyone. That's okay too. I'm not saying you have to, but I'm saying that the vast majority of folks, I reckon, have some videos in them. If you don't want to show your face, that's cool too. Create some cool design to do it. Like, there's a lot of things. And if you want more information, as I said, about specifically, more strategies and tips and practical stuff, check out the video over at Indie Over 50, where I chat to John for a good 20 minutes and I share a lot of other tips. So I wanted to do this as like a compliment for that video as well. So you can check that one out. But yes, whatever you took from today, your voice deserves to be heard. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. All right. Thanks everyone for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Again, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you did. If you're watching on the replay and you've got specific questions, now that you know my secret strategies and tactics for answering comments, you can leave a comment and I'll definitely reply to you, because I have not replied to a single comment in the 10 years of this channel. Actually, that's not true. The ones I delete, I don't comment on. I don't reply to. Although sometimes I do. Because I'm going to give you this one and then we'll go. If you reply to someone's comment, but then delete it, they get a notification saying that there's a reply there, and then they go look at it, and there's nothing there, it's deleted. So that can be kind of fun. I only do that when it's someone that's being particularly mean. Yes, my Indie Over 50 video is there if you would like to go and check it out. And yes, YML 300. Send an old song, Mark. You know what? You are such a valuable part of this community. You're a member. You're a patron. Just get your favorite song and send that in, and we'll play it again. Because why not? Because it's not pay to play around here, but there are certain folks who have been supporting me for a long time, and that's the folks that we want to thank and congratulate for the 300th episode of Your Music Live. Speaking of which, you are going to be sent there. If you're here live, we'll pop you out to the foyer of Your Music Live episode 300. Make sure that you come and check it out. It's going to be rad. Lots of cool songs, a few surprises here and there. And until next time, folks, please be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Keep creating. And I'll see you next time here on the Creator Town Hall. Bye for now.